Halftime Pizza and FightSaga.com proudly present WAWR Week Radio with 5-decade fight trainer James Gogue.
Guys, welcome. This is Tuesday night, which is very unusual for me and, well, my special guest, 5-decade fight trainer, the incomparable Coach James Gogue. James, how you doing on this beautiful evening, sir?
Doing good. We had some good fights over the weekend. We're going to recap it. And is there any fights coming up this week?
Oh, boy. And I'm glad you asked, because that's the premise of the show. That's the focal point, I should say. And that's what's going to be in our main event this Tuesday night. Oh, boy. It's going to be Tszyu versus, well, Super Bad Harrison. How do you like that?
Oh, next Tuesday. Is it next Tuesday?
No. We're just going to be talking about it's going to be our main event this Tuesday evening. But it's going to be on March 11th, brother. Saturday night. Okay. Right? Take place
Saturday night.
Yep, Saturday night. It's going to be on Showtime. Tszyu versus Tony Harrison, technically taking place on Sunday in Sydney, Australia. And it's a big deal. Both men just went face-to-face, head-to-head on Fox Sports. That's a big deal over there.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, both fighters deserve to be commended. And once again, Tszyu especially, he didn't have to take this fight.
Yeah. Dangerous fight, man. Dangerous fight.
And this is what boxing's all about, guys. Once again, we love these head-to-head matchups. One in which you really can't tell what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And we're going but to give us an idea, we're going to talk to Master James Gogue. He's going to give us an idea of what to really expect this weekend from Sydney, Australia. Obviously, Callum Smith was injured my ass. Anyway, so we got out of this fight, and so something else is going on. I think Diego Pacheco. What is his name? My apologies. It's going to be Diego Pacheco, yes, versus Jack Callan is going to be in your main event from Liverpool, England. It was Callum Smith, but he got injured, whatever. And he's going to be now in the main event from Liverpool, England, March 11th, Diego Pacheco versus Jack Callan. But your primary fight, the big one this weekend, obviously is Tony Harrison versus Tszyu. That's going to be a great fight. But first, before we get into that, guys, we're going to get reacquainted with all the action that happened this weekend. And afterwards, after watching the highlights again, you can talk about whatever you want, Gogue, okay? Take us through the action, right? Here, check it out. And this is what happened in the world according to Showtime Sports, how they saw it anyway. Hold on, sir. So, you know what? And what I want to know is, why do you think they put this on? And once again, this is the brainchild of a very smart boxing guy like Tom Brown. Right. And once again, Espinoza and Al Heyman, they haven't made any bones about this, and make no mistake about it, they've been listening to Tom Brown for the last year. And you can tell the product is much better. Yeah. So why do you think he's interjecting new blood at middleweight, sir?
Because they're a sinking ship with the old overpriced fighters they got right now that don't want to fight. So what you do, like the NFL, Joe, you always keep the best players on the team by injecting new blood, always getting rid of old talent, bringing in new talent, okay? You always want to upgrade your talent all the time if you want longevity in this business. Top Rank does it, man. You sign with Top Rank, you don't perform, you're out the door, and they bring somebody else in. The NFL, if you don't perform, they'll find somebody else, okay? And that's what Showtime, PBC should do. Instead of keep recycling these fucking old retreads, you know what I'm talking about? And people are getting tired of that, man. You know what I mean? They don't want to fight nobody. They want easy fights, for a lot of money. Nah, man. Inject it with new blood, hungry talent, like that guy that we're going to be talking about, who beat up on Jared Hurd. But anyway, you there, Joe?
I tell you what, let's bring that into the stream once again so we can talk about that, okay?
Yeah, all right.
So here it is, Coach, and you can wait till the You can start talking now, or you can wait till the replay is over, okay?
Yeah, go ahead. But that new kid, that little southpaw, yeah, he's a guy to watch out for.
Jose Resendez.
This fight is, oh man, a hungry Mexican fighter, man. I never seen this guy fight before, but I knew he was in shape just looking at him at the weigh-in. Louis the Cuba Senior has him, man. So I knew since he lost to Julian Williams.
Yep.
Man, how many times has he fought? Come on, man. He's getting rid of that retread and bringing fresh blood like they did.
Yeah, he doesn't seem
his time. Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to mentally want it anymore, does he?
He ain't hungry, Joe. It's showed in the fight.
Yep.
All right. And look, Joe. You can see if a fighter is hungry. All you got to do is look at their box rec. If they're fighting consistently, this guy, man, he's through. And just toss him to the side, send him to the recycling shop. Okay, that's what he is. He's a fucking retread, an old horse ready for the glue factory. And get rid of him.
Well, hopefully he didn't blow his money like Adrian Broner.
I think he's a little smarter than that.
I agree. I would agree. Actually, like Jared Hurd. And he did a lot of great things and was in a lot of great fights at 154. But Jared, whatever you were going to do in boxing, it's already happened. So it's time. It's time. And once again, it's new blood interjected into the middleweight division. And that's it. That's it. That's why you're seeing this.
To make the dude, you look at his record. No recognizable names, but
that's it.
But he beat the former junior middleweight champion of the world, a guy with a name. So it gives him a name. Okay, now he's new blood. All right.
That's it. That's it, guys. And that's it. And once again, let's go ahead and start playing our main event of the evening here. Hold on. Absolutely.
Have the fundamental skill sets to fight those pressure fighters with good fundamental skills and tactical smarts. Yeah.
Yep.
He's a fighter that needs a trainer to teach him all that because he ain't got it now. Now you can see he has a talent and ability, the athletic talent and ability to do that, but it's all raw and green. Okay, it's not developed, it's not polished up. So in Figueroa, you know what I mean. Once you fight his game on the inside, guess what? He's hard to deal with, man. Okay, he's hard to deal with. But it was a good win for Brandon and his dad. And his sister, the triangle, I call them. They did a good job of, preparing him. And, Brandon, when he's in shape, when he's in focus, he's hard to deal with, man. That pressure he puts on you and that will, okay? He imposes his will on you, okay? All right?
That's it.
Like power, if you watch the NFL or college football, a football team that loves to establish the power running game, all right? If you ain't going to stop them, they're going to just keep running that ball down your throat. And that's what Brandon is. Physical, ground and pound type of fighter. Yeah. And Maxile.
Yeah. And I tell you what, you called it exactly how it was going to play out, Coach Gogue. You said that, he was completely deficient on the inside. Tell you what, before we move forward, Coach, and keep talking about this, because I'm going to give you the judges' score totals. And once again, see if they were close or comparative, I guess, to the scores that you actually had when you were watching it at home. And then also I want to give you Sean Gibbons' comments, who's president of Manny Pacquiao Promotions, great boxing guy. You know him. And I want to give you his comments afterwards. But let's give a shout out to some of our good friends in the chat.
1 second, Joe. Hey, Joe.
Yes, sir.
How does Maxile fight in sight? That's what he was doing.
It was embarrassing. He looked like a novice, brother.
What did I say, Joe? He didn't throw none of them combinations that would have been effective in the pocket. The uppercut, the left hook, come back with that left.
Oh,
left uppercut. The left hook to the body, left hook to the head, come back with that left uppercut. Come back to the right hooks to the body. Okay?
Not one.
Step at angles. He didn't step at angles. He didn't pivot around them. All right?
Not once.
All that stuff I talked about, Joe. The effective combinations, punches that will work on Brandon, tactical footwork, sliding laterally, countering in them, stepping around them, stepping at angles. He didn't do none of that shit. He just
jeez.
Am I right, Joe? Am I
No,
right?
it was painful. You're absolutely right. So, and once again, we're going to talk about, see if Sean Gibbons is just, well, he's just staging for his man. He's just representing for his man, or if he actually has a valid point. And I'm going to read it to you in just a second. But let's say hi to our very good friends in the chat. Want to give a shout out to my brother Jesus M. Saludos, Joe and Coach. Saludos to you, man. Hold on, let me see if my mic is working. Is my mic sounding okay?
Little. Turn the volume up.
Let me turn the volume up a bit. Okay, here we go. Is it okay now? Can you hear me?
Yes, sounds
very, very good, very good. And he says Tim is overrated, Coach. Well, we're going to find out.
We'll find out
this weekend. That's why they fight the fights, guys. Want to give a shout out to my brother, the Boxing Source, Joe and the Coach. What up? What's up with you, my friend? If you haven't already, please go subscribe to my brother James at the Boxing Source. And he did his preview or his analysis or review of the new Creed movie tonight. So go check that out, guys. Also want to give a shout out to my brother, W.A.W. He says, good evening, gentlemen. Got some last-minute tickets, a Figueroa card. What a treat. Southern California. Boxing is on fire. Yes. Hashtag support live boxing. And that's absolutely right, brother. And thank you for always supporting the coach, brother, even on this Tuesday night. And once again, we'll have Coach Ronnie back. Now, I wasn't supposed to do the show. I canceled Coach Ronnie's show. But I was feeling better this evening, so I decided to do a show with Coach Gogue. What a treat. But Coach Ronnie will be back in action.
Hey, Joe, you there?
Boxing, jazz, and more. Where is it? Hold on. Can you see it? There it is. So he says, salute my brothers. Well, salute to you, my friend. Thank you for always supporting the coach. He goes, hey, Coach, tomorrow is a 52-year anniversary of the fight of the century, Ali Frazier. Oh, boy. Did you get to see that in closed circuit, sir?
Man, I was a little kid, but I heard all the buzz, man. It was just mainstream buzz worldwide, man. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was the perfect storm while boxing was a huge mainstream event.
Yeah. I was a little kid back then. I was only
Can you imagine?
I was a little kid. Coach. I remember all the buzz, man.
Coach, can you remember how much money that would make if that were staged at this time under the same conditions?
Oh, shit. Ali would get $500 million. 500 and Frazier would probably get 250 million. And I'm being realistic.
It makes Pacquiao versus Mayweather look like dog shit.
Exactly.
That's how huge it was, guys. It was the talk of every town, not just in America either, all over the world.
All over the world.
Yep. We've never seen anything like it since.
Nope.
And look, promoters and networks have been trying to replicate that again, trying to pit one undefeated fighter against another. They can't replicate it. Guys, you can't catch lightning in a bottle again. It was a magical thing. And once again, we'll talk about it tomorrow night with our good friend Lee Cleveland. James, if you have any other comments about it, we'll get back to that and we'll talk about everything else. Yep, boy, Ali. He was as recognizable as the Pope at the time.
Yeah.
That's what a huge mainstream star he was.
Yeah.
There will never be another one like it.
Yeah.
Right? Thank you for bringing that up, Bruce. Love you, brother. And he says, give a shout out to our brother Khalid. Salute from Philly. Want to hear that Harrison versus Tszyu breakdown? Yeah, Coach Gogue's going to give it to you, my friend. Yeah. So we're gonna talk about it in just a second. Excuse me.
Philly in the house.
Yep. That's it. I want to talk about our brother. Give a shout out to our brother Outlaw.
Yeah.
He says he be slacking on young talent. Boy, that's the God's honest truth. But I tell you what.
Last week, I said that last week, Joe. The reason why Top Rank has survived 50 years, they always have a pipeline of talent coming up. Okay, if you don't do your job, somebody else, takes your spot. Just like the NFL, they always got and they got a solid Hall of Fame matchmaker and Brad Goodman that knows how to season and develop these guys up the levels and everything. PBC, like I said, man, it's total. They're not in top ranks league. Okay, when it comes to building a pipeline of young talent, replacing the old talent. Okay, and developing them correctly with the right fights, not giving them a bunch of patsy soft overs, but good competitive fights that are going to make them better and grow grow through the 4s, the 6s, the 8s, the 10 rounds. Brad Goodman's the best right now. He's number one. Nobody can touch him right now. He's on a different level, baby. That's why he's in the Hall of Fame. But anyway,
well, it also helps, Coach, when you're mentored by. You're right. It's. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah,
it looks like I'm having connectivity issues, sir. Okay, very good. Well, it also helps when you're mentored by Hall of Famer Bruce Trampler.
Yeah, but you don't need Bruce.
Yeah, unfortunately. Go ahead,
Bruce don't have to hold him by the hand. Brad.
Not anymore.
He's got carte blanche. He's had carte blanche for a long time. Okay, years over there at Top Rank. He makes all those matches. When you got the bigger matches, okay, that's when Aaron gets involved. Okay, that's when Bruce gets involved. But these developmental fights, Aaron, Bruce, man, they don't fuck with that shit. They, of course they watch them to see how their fighters are progressing. But as far as matching them, nah, man, that's all in Brad. That's all Brad Goodman. Okay.
That's it. He says this. My brother James says this. Boy, the passing of Tony Harrison's father really affected him big time.
Yeah.
What do you think? Yeah, I mean, you know what? That's understandable.
Yeah,
that's understandable, guys. And also the passing of Emmanuel Stewart 10 years ago. Yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah. So he's got the double whammy, brother. So we'll see which version of Tony Harrison shows up. We want to give a shout out to someone who's going to be dialed in this weekend. Our brother Carl the Crocodile Hunter Hansen says, salute Joe and Coach Gogue. This weekend, Tim takes his place in the 154-pound division, and I love it. I tell you what, he's got a set of brass taking on this assignment. There are a lot of people who are actually picking Tony Harrison. We'll see who the coach picks, right? My apologies, guys, for having connectivity issues. My apologies. It looks like I'm going. Hopefully, we'll get this resolved. Yeah. So let's keep on giving a shout.
Oh.
Here, listen to this, Coach. Can you hear me, sir? Can you hear me okay? Coach, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Very, very good. My apologies, guys. And Issy says, Coach, I already knew you were a genius, but to watch the Figueroa fight and have it play out exactly like you said, it was a sight to behold. Thanks for expanding my knowledge and understanding of the sport. That's what Coach is here for, Izzy. That's what Coach is here for, brother.
Work. Hey, Izzy, that was obvious, man. That was easy work. Guess what, Izzy? I didn't even have to study the fight. I just knew in my mind how it would play out. Yeah, I didn't watch no fucking tape. I didn't watch no videos and all that shit and, take 100 pages of notes like these internet boxing analysts do. Fuck no.
Yeah. No, he just thought about it live. He didn't do any homework on this, and which is exactly the case for this fight, Tszyu versus Tony Harrison. Guess what? It's going to play out exactly like the coach thinks. And this one is much more difficult to call, right?
Yeah.
This one's difficult to call, guys. I could see this, and this is what makes this fight so intriguing. I could see this ending up in a bunch of different ways, right? So it makes this fight so intriguing. But I trust Coach Gogue's eyes and his insight. So we're going to find out what he thinks.
I haven't studied the fight, man. I didn't even know they were fighting. I don't follow boxing. Who's come? That's why I have Joe. Joe tells me who all the fights are coming up. I don't follow the boxing schedule, but I haven't studied. But in my mind, I got a feel on what what both fighters are going to do.
Yeah, incredible, absolutely incredible, Coach. You're amazing. And our brother Carl says this. cards for Figueroa and Messiah were very wide.
Man, yeah.
Did you agree with that? And do you think that's why Sean Gibbons, the president of Manny Pacquiao Promotions, is that upset with this? But it did seem like the right man won, didn't it?
The right man won, but that was way off. Look, the guys that I watched it here on Fox, Espanol in Mexico. They had the fight even. Yeah, they scored the fight even. I had Brandon up maybe 4 points. Yeah, 4 points. But that big disparity. Well, the points that were taken away. That widened the gap. So for Messiah Holden, and Sean had a good point. The fucking referee didn't warn him at all. He just started taking points. He should have gave him a warning. Hey, no more holding. I'm gonna take a point. But he just, right off the bat, boom, took a point and everything.
Yeah, well, this is what he had to say, brother. This is what he had to say. And this is quoting Sean Gibbons once again. He says, quote, "Oi, Messiah fought in San Antonio and lost a very close disputed decision against Ray Vargas, and I thought he won. What we saw tonight was just pathetic. You cannot, no matter how you add it up, score rounds 4 through 12 all for Brandon Figueroa. You just can't do it. And also, I want to know why the state of California changed one of our judges. On Monday, they changed one of our judges. They changed Rudy Barragon. Why? Because that one guy scored at 117, 109? Pathetic. Messiah fought his ass off. Everyone saw the fight. Even with the point deductions, it could have been 115, 113, or 114, 114, but 117, 109? No, said an irate Sean Gibbons, and according to the source, Boxing or Fight Hub TV, right? Coach, does he have
what did you say, Joe?
I said, you know what?
The source.
Fight Hub.
Dante's Boxing Nation?
No, that's not a source for anything except a headache. That's a boxing. Look, I don't ever bring up Dante's boxing racism again. Yeah. I tell you what. Oh, geez. And once again, that if you ever want to attend a Black Lives Matter rally, go to Dante's boxing racism. Okay. Yeah.
I love going there just to get a laugh, man, about the shit they talk about, the nonsense, their boxing IQ, their lack of boxing.
Oh, it's terrible. And they have so many subscribers. Holy shit, dude.
Yeah. I love going there just to get a laugh, man. But hey, God bless them. They got a good following, and you know what I mean? So no, it's not God bless them, because they're poisoning the ears and minds of so many fans. Oh, yeah, they do.
That are impressionable and don't know the difference, that are so thirsty for information that they're willing to listen to this shit.
Yeah.
Because compare that to our channel, Coach, when it's actually factual stuff.
Yeah. There ain't no comparison, man. It's
there isn't. There isn't. Yeah. That's why I'm like, you know what? Those guys, it's a cancer to the boxing business, the boxing industry, because fans are the real bosses of boxing. And if they don't know any better, well, this is what you're going to get, right?
They need to start following our channel.
There it is. There it is. Follow the coach.
Real news.
That's it. Want to give a shout out to our brother, Rodney Evans, a.k.a. Hot Rod. Welcome to the show, sir, and thank you for supporting the coach on this Tuesday. Says, Coach, why do people say Ali or Floyd is the GOAT when in reality no fighter came close to Sugar Ray Robinson? Yeah. Look,
well, that's people nowadays, okay? Floyd fought in this era where they remembered him. They didn't remember or see how great Sugar Ray Robinson was, okay? Okay, people saw Ali. He was on TV, okay? He was the second most popular person in the world next to the Pope, all right? He was on television. Ray Robinson was on TV. They didn't have TV for a lot of his fights. A lot of his fights were on radio. Then get this, all you boxing fans out here. Don Targan told me a good story, my partner. He goes, back in the days, They didn't have TV or closed circuit and none of that shit. So what you do, you listen to the fight on the radio. Okay, that's how you got that's how you got your information or found out how the fight was going. Then the next week they would film that fight in black and white. Then the next week they would distribute it to the movie theaters nationwide to see the replay of the fight. And Don told me the theaters would be packed, would be jam packed because people wanted to see it on on the movie theater. Yeah, back then. So, but now, yeah, like I said, nowadays, it's the people, they never seen Sugar Ray Robinson or how great he was or how he fought Jake LaMotta in his first fight. The fight was so damn good. They did a first or second fight. The fight was so damn good. The public demanded a rematch, so they did the rematch 3 weeks later. Okay, and get this: a week before the rematch, he did a 10-round tune-up with a guy named Charlie Wilson, who was a top 10 middleweight. He had three fights in 3 weeks. Okay.
Who did Don say the best fighter in his lifetime was? Did he say it's Sugar Ray or Charlie Burley?
No, he said Sugar Ray Robinson was his number one fighter, the greatest of all time. He said Eddie Futch had Charlie Burley number one and Robinson number two. Yeah, I never seen Burley fight. There's no film of him.
No.
I just heard of him. Okay,
the garbage collector. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, but they said that Burley was Futch had him the greatest. Don had him number two, but Don had Sugar Ray Robinson number one. Man, Joe, just look at this record. Fucking incredible.
It's amazing. Yeah.
3 fights in 3 weeks.
That's incredible. That's incredible. And you know what? We'll never see that. Well, we may see that again if we lose TV dates. Can you hear me okay, Coach Gogue?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, very good. Very good. And it goes, Outlaw says, yep, every promotional company needs a developmental series to keep their young guys active and on TV for exposure. And I'll tell you what.
Top Rank does.
Yeah, Top Rank already does it, and they do a great job. And hopefully Showtime can actually have their TV dates because, once again, keep their TV dates because it seems that, once again, I'm going to say this. You got to get rid of that stigma that PBC and Showtime are a cancer for the sport. Their product is much better than DAZN's at this time. Okay, it's gotten better over the past year. Get over what they did 7 years ago on with free PBC, right? Get over all the mistakes that they made. Guys, they're good for boxing at this time. And Tom Brown is doing a hell of a job.
Yeah.
I will say this.
Joe,
I'm sorry, go ahead, sir.
I've been saying this. I've been saying this for years.
Yep.
Now they're starting to realize it. I said, if you just give Tom Brown control, remember that back then, Joe, a few years ago?
Yep.
Let him do his job. Then you'll have good quality fights. Okay. Al, don't interfere. Stevie Espinoza, just blue stamps everything, and just let Tom Brown do his job, and you'll get good competitive matchups. Okay?
That's it. He's one of the best matchmakers. That's right. He's one of the best matchmakers in 20 years.
3-4 years ago.
You said this 3 years ago. That's right. And now they're finally doing it. We'll find out if it's too little, too late. Right now, they're doing a great job. Have the best schedule in 2023. So I tell you what, let's do this, Coach. Carl says, to stick to your point, he says, I think Tony Harrison's 2 fights in 4 years will play a huge part in the outcome of this fight this weekend. Activity is everything. Well, here,
Carl.
That's Carl the Crocodile Hunter Hansen. He's going to be watching. Yep, that's it. Coach professes that all the time. Well, here's a nice slide from my brother Outlaw. He says, Joe, did you hear fights on the radio when you were a young man? Actually, brother, I used to call fights on the radio. And if you ever heard it, I think you would actually like it, Outlaw. So I'll try to dig one up for you and send a link where I called a championship fight on the radio. In fact, who gave me my first opportunity to call a fight live was Lou Savarese. Do you remember Lou Savarese?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he got called a fight in Houston, Texas. He gave me the opportunity.
Oh, man.
Yep, Big Lou. Love the guy, man. Very, very smart guy, and you would never know it because of how hey, he sounds kind of punchy when he talks, but he is sharp as a tack, brother.
Lou's a great guy.
He is a great guy, man, and he's now a promoter, so we wish him the best. I need to call him. Our brother Tszyu says, salute Mr. Hammond, legendary Coach Gogue. Glad to have you guys deliver the boxing gospel. And yes, it is the gospel according to Brother James, and we're about to get right to it. Here is the tail of the tape for the challenger down under, Tony Super Bad Harrison. Just one moment, guys. He's going to come to the ring at age 32. Wow. Ooh, I remember when he was in his early 20s. He fights out of the orthodox stance. He stands 6'1" tall in the center of the ring. Fights behind a very lengthy 77-inch reach. He hails from Detroit, Michigan, and is a great, great asset to the community. Does a lot for the kids. He comes into the ring with a very good record. 29 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, 21 big wins coming by way of knockout. Coach Gogue, what's your assessment of Tony Super Bad Harrison?
He used to be good. Okay, Joe, how many fights has he had in 3-4 years?
2.
Carl said?
2.
Come on. There's a reason why Tszyu and his people took this fight.
Oh, jeez.
Well, at his best, when he fought Charlo, long, fast, sharp jab, to keep you at range and distance. And he had them quick hands, that quick, sneaky right hand right behind him, right behind that jab. He'll blind you with that jab. Then boom, sneak that right hand in there.
Yep.
And he also had a sneaky uppercut, once you got into range and everything. It's just good footwork, hard to get to, athletic, gifted, can hurt you if you make mistakes, like try to rush them without try to close that distance without no protection behind a jab or head movement. You're gonna get caught with uppercuts or that straight right hands or that hook. He can't fight inside worth of shit, okay? Because he likes to keep everything at range because of his height and everything. Former world champion. He beat Charlo.
Right.
But that thing, like I said, that's past.
Mm-hmm.
What has he done for the last 4 years? 2 fights?
Yeah.
That tells me he ain't a hungry fighter. He don't want to, that's all I need to know. All right. The motherfucker's going down there to get a payday.
Yep.
Right.
And I tell you what, the number 1 contender for Jermell Charlo's 154-pound crown, and that's going to be the hometown fighter, Tszyu. Guys, he comes into the ring at age 28. He fights out of the orthodox stance. He stands 5'8.5" tall in the center of the ring. Fights behind a 72-inch reach. Well, that's a huge 5-inch difference, Gogue. From Sydney, Australia, now fighting out of Rockdale, New South Wales. He comes in the ring with a perfect record. 21 wins, 0 losses, 0 draws, 15 big wins coming by way of knockout. Coach Gogue, what's there to like about terrible Tszyu?
He's got his father's genetics, but he's not as good as Costa. Costa was a bad motherfucker, man.
He sure was.
He's solid. Okay, Joe, from the little bit of tape I seen him, but his last fight, when he fought on Showtime,
Terrell Gaucher. Yep.
He got dropped, didn't he?
Yep.
He didn't look impressive.
Yep.
But, you know what I mean? To me, that was a good learning developmental fight for the kid, okay? You need to get punched in the mouth. You need to taste some adversity, okay? Because you got to learn how to deal with that when you start fighting tougher guys. But, he's a solid fundamental fighter, okay? All right, good punching power, basic, good instincts. Look, Joe, he's a chip off his dad. He's a chip off his dad's block, okay?
Yeah.
But, to me, he's still kind of green, okay? Just watching that Gaucher fight.
Yeah.
But he's solid. In that neck of the woods, he's a solid. He's good as you get. But, now he's fighting the American fighters, he's up in this level of competition. But, the guy, fundamentally, he's sound, though, does everything good, basic and does everything good punching power. You know what I mean? Doesn't have a big amateur background and everything, but golly, that fight with Gaucher, man, I was like, that was a wake-up call. So
yeah, well, he got put on his ass early in that fight.
Like I said, what I like about him, he's a chip off his dad's block. He's got some ability. Okay, you can see it's passed down from his dad, but he ain't his dad. Okay, he ain't Costa. A bad dude, man.
Yeah, he sure is. But he seems to have the mental and physical durability that his dad had. He just doesn't have that
experience.
That experience, that amateur experience, or that right hand was a stone cold weapon, man, wasn't it?
Costa had over 300 amateur. Tszyu had over 300 amateur fights, and a lot of them at the international level. Okay, that's big. That gives him a huge advantage over his son, who didn't have that big amateur background or that international background. Okay, but he's got ability. Okay, genetics transferred to his son. But if he only had that, if he had that amateur background like his dad, then I could say a lot more nice things about you, Timmy. Okay? But he's gonna have the country of Australia backing him, and Harrison only fought twice in 4 years. He's going into that guy's backyard, man. So this is gonna be a great opponent for Timmy Tszyu to make a statement. Yeah. Well,
Carl says this. I can't wait for Sunday, but $70 on pay-per-view here in Australia. We get robbed. Well, I will say this, brother. That's a big time event. Look, it costs the same if you wanted to get Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury here in the States. And that sold really well here. So anyway, we'll talk about that some other time. But yes, and we can't wait either, Carl, for this event. We can't wait for Saturday night here, Sunday over there. Guys, it's finally going down. Coach, what does Tim Tszyu have to do to be effective against Tony Superbad Harrison, sir?
Control that jab, okay? Look, he can't stand on the outside. Okay, he's gonna have to close that the distance intelligently. Okay, neutralize Harrison's jab. Okay, picking it off, slipping it. Okay, then once you start, your eyes start getting adjusted to that speed of his jab because it's fast and sharp. Okay, it's gonna take maybe a round or two for your eyes to adjust to that speed, unless Tim Tszyu hired some good sparring partners that had the quick hands to get, to get his eyes to adapt to that speed. Okay. Mm-hmm. If he didn't, he's going to find out in the fight. He's going to have to adjust to it in the fight. Okay. Yep. But, pick the jab, Don't let him control you with that jab. Counter. Then once you start getting the feel for his jab, when it's coming and you're picking it or slipping it, then you can start countering it. Picking it, jabbing back while you're pressing the action, picking and jabbing, double jabbing back. Okay. What else? Then once you pick the jab, picking double jab back, then get back to that jab to the body to bring his head down. Then once you get him by the ropes, okay. Harrison, he likes to work that jab with he's in the center of the ring or by the ropes. Once you get him by the ropes, he throws that jab, slip, go over with the right hand. That always works on a tall guy that's by the ropes that tries to throw that jab. When he throws that jab to slip, go over with the right hand. That's what I would do, okay? Control that jab, okay? Close that distance intelligently. How do you do that? It starts with your footwork, okay? Mm-hmm. Being calm and patient. Just don't rush in because you're going to get hit with that uppercut, okay, from Harrison. So establish that jab, closing that distance, putting it in his face. When you do that, you're not gonna get you're not gonna take no incoming coming when you're closing that distance and get hit by them uppercuts or straight right hands or the hooks by Harrison. Because when you got a jab in your face, okay, from your opponent, man, it's hard to counter on them with that, whatever with the counter check hook or the uppercut or the straight right hand. So he's got to close that distance intelligently by that jab, head movement, feints too. Okay, then once you close that distance, you want to get him make him a stationary target, like Figueroa did against Mike Tszyu on the ropes or in the corners. Once you make him a stationary target, well, guess what? There ain't no more even playing field. Everything goes, all the advantages go to Tszyu. And that's when you start putting the combinations together, the jab, the right hand, them hooks I be digging them body shots, man. The slow Harrison's to take the legs away from Harrison. Then once you start hitting in the body, that's going to set up the head shots. Hit the body, then come back to the head. Come back to the head with a hook, uppercut hooks are going to work on Harrison on the inside. That right uppercut, left hook, straight right hand, basic, or that straight right hook to the body, come back with that right uppercut. Then go back to the body with the left hook. Okay, be creative in his combination punches when he gets in the close range. Okay, when you got him, if you could get him on the ropes or in the corner. Okay, even when he starts becoming a stationary target, like in the center of the ring, always mix your combination. Start with that body first, then go back to the head. The body, a tall guy like Harrison is going to set up them headshots for Timmy. Okay, that's what I would do. But the jab is always number one, man. Mm-hmm. The jab is going to take away his ability to counterpunch. And the jab is going to take away a lot of incoming when you're closing that distance and everything. And just being, like I said, getting him by the ropes or in the corners, cutting off his escape route so he can't pivot around you. And, the early rounds, this guy's going to give him problems, but, he's fresh. His jab is quick and sharp. His combinations are sharp. But as the fight goes down, this fucker ain't fought in a while. He'll start slowing down. And that's when you start putting you start putting a little bit more gas on the pedal and start, picking up your attack. But the thing is, avoid taking incoming as much as possible when you're closing that distance, Harrison, that uppercut is pretty sneaky, man. And that jab, you got to get past that jab. You got to control it, man. And pick, jab, okay? Slip, right hand over the top, okay? Ken Norton was beautiful. Ken Norton, boy, he was he was an underrated counterpuncher. He knew how to take away your jab by, he had his right hand here, pick it off, then jab back, jab back. That Norton, yeah, he was very, very. It was taught, Eddie Futch taught him, and Bill Slayton taught him well on how, when he fought Ali, he took away Ali's jab. Okay, picking, jabbing, pick, jab, pick, double jab. Yeah, Eddie told me that. You want to get Ali. Eddie Futch told me this. You want to get Ali out of his rhythm. You want to get him, you know what I mean? You want to take, he goes, you want to get Ali out of Muhammad Ali out of his rhythm, you take away his jab. Eddie Futch told me this 30 years ago. And he said he had Norton. When he fought Ali, he worked on this day after day after day. That was the number one strategy, was eliminating Ali's jab by, if you watch that fight, you see Norton, pop, 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 pop. Then tap, tap, he'll lead with the jab, double it. But the main thing is he was taking away Ali's jab and not letting him get in the rhythm. Because Ali, boy, he's athletic. Once he got his jab going, boy, he was in that flow. Everything would flow off that jab. But Norton took it away by countering it effectively. Yeah.
And there it is.
Eddie Futch told me about that, man. Yeah. But that's what Tszyu got to do. He's got to take away that. Once he takes away that jab, if he does it effectively by the 5th, 6th round, that jab ain't gonna be in his face, so he'll be able to close that distance more easily. And once he gets in close, then you gotta be creative with your combination punches, to the head, to the body, or like I said, hit his body first. Because when you hit his body, he's gonna freeze, and that's gonna set up the head shots. That's what I would do. I don't know what the motherfuckers over there in Down Under are doing, but that's what I would do. But anyway, that's the keys to victory for old Timmy Tszyu. Yeah.
Bravo, brother. Very, very good job. And once again, guys, this is coming off the top of Gogue's head.
Yeah.
So, Coach Gogue.
Yeah, I didn't study. This is something that I would do, okay? All right?
What would
if
you...
he follows my game plan, Harrison is going to get his ass whooped. Real bad.
Well, though, Coach, what would be your game plan for Super Bad Harrison?
Well, just be him. Keep it at range as much as possible. Keep it in the center of the ring where he has a lot of real estate to operate. Okay.
Yeah.
That jab is gonna be the key. Bop.
Yep.
Bop. Put it in his face, fading him. Then off the jab, he can set up that 1-2. Okay.
Yep.
The 1-2 hook right hand, or that jab hook right hand. But that jab that's why I say it's the number one weapon in boxing, because you could use it as a defensive weapon and get your hit less, but it sets up your offense so much better when you use your jab. It makes the fight so much easier. Now, if he could keep Tim Tszyu at bay as much as possible, he can do all this stuff. Okay, he can set up all his combinations with that long rangy jab. And if Tszyu somehow gets by that jab, boom, hit him with that uppercut, sneak it in. Okay, get his attention. Okay, You're not going to come in here. You're not going to have a free entrance when you come into my house. Okay, you're going to pay. I'm going to make you pay. Boom, with uppercuts and everything. And another thing is too, man. Shit. Sometimes Tzew's left hand's a little low.
Oh boy.
That jab and boom, a medium range, short right hand, not long range where Tszyu can see it, but medium range where he don't see it is good, and sneak it in there. Land it right on the, like
oh
that
boy.
Terrell Gachet.
Well, I tell you what,
honestly,
Coach,
too, Joe.
Yes,
I
sir.
put them body shots, hooks. I do a lot. I hit him with the body shots to discourage Tim. To discourage Tim from to be aggressive. But that's me. But anyway.
Well, I tell you what, though, Coach. Super Bad Harrison. I know this for a fact. I've been in the gym with him. He punches a lot harder than Terrell Gachet.
Oh, yeah.
One of the things Emmanuel loved about him.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting, guys. And we'll see if here's the sports book, right? According to our book of choice, Bet MGM. The numbers right now. It's a minus 230 for Tim Tszyu and a plus 195 for Tony Superbad Harrison.
Yeah.
That's almost an even money fight, almost, but that's giving Tim a slight home court advantage, so to speak.
Yeah, he's
right?
fighting in his backyard. It's hard to beat somebody in their backyard when you got 40, 50,000 fans screaming for you.
Yep. Now, once again, this is a country that hosted and judges that scored Jeff Horn over Manny Pacquiao, the legend. Do you think Tony Superbad Harrison needs a knockout to win this fight?
Absolutely. That's the only thing I would. If I was his coach, only thing on my mind, knockout, no decision.
Set up the right hand.
Yep. Or we're not going to lose, or we're not going to win.
Set up the right hand. Yep. I tell you what, Coach. So, what is your official Coach Gogue prediction? And guys, just to set the mood right for this official Gogue prediction, we're going to play some music for you, okay? This is, now let's do the entrance before we get this, right? Here's some ambience music. Coach Gogue, what is your official prediction for Tim Tszyu versus Tony Superbad Harrison this weekend?
I predict Tim Tszyu fighting in his backyard with the thousands of fans backing him, and he's going to be hard to beat, boy. He's going to be focused. He's going to be motivated and energized. This is a fight. This is his breakout fight for him to make a name in the boxing world against a world champion, okay? Will it go the distance? I think it will. I don't think it's going to be hard to knock out Harrison, especially if he's on survival mode, okay? We'll see. It's going to be a good fight. It'll be a good fight over there.
I tell you what, guys, I wish we still had this music. In fact, I think I'm going to change Gogue's theme song to this, I think. I'll work on it in the next couple days, but I'm definitely going to play it this weekend at the weigh-in at Dave & Buster's at I-10 and 410. But, Coach, what do you think of first when you hear this song, sir?
HBO putting on a great fight for free, not on pay-per-view. Motherfuckers nowadays. Yeah.
Oh, geez. I tell you what. It almost brings tears to my eyes when I hear that, brother.
Yeah.
I just want to share that with all of you guys. And look, Coach, in your mind, what was the greatest evening of boxing that you ever saw? And I know that's almost impossible to answer, but just name some of your favorites from the classic HBO broadcast team.
Oh, Arturo Gatti, the series, the trilogy with Mickey Ward, hands down, man. Any Arturo Gatti fight, boy. Arturo was a good friend, man. He was a good friend of mine. He's my boy. God bless his soul, rest in peace. But yeah, man, that guy, you would never hear. Oh, I hurt my head. Just throw the towel in. I'm ready to quit. That doesn't. Quitting was never in Arturo Gatti's mind. Any Arturo Thunder Gatti fight, boy, that was made for TV. Yeah.
You're listening to this, Coach.
Trinidad, Felix Tito Trinidad. You know what I mean?
Yep. Here, listen to this, Coach. Carl says, I love hearing Americans cry robbery. Well, you hear it all the time when they come to fight in your neck of the woods, brother. Yeah. Well, please don't make me bring up Devin the Dream Haney, right? Don't make me bring that up right now. Well, once again, Coach, what was your prediction, brother, now that the music's off?
Oh, Tszyu, win by decision. It's going to be hard to knock out Harrison, okay? But I see him winning by his decision. Conservative, by 4 points. At least conservative, yeah.
So you think he's going to eventually implement that game plan, exactly what you actually wrote up on the chalkboard, right?
He ain't gonna boss him like Pernell Whitaker. Hell no.
And there it is, guys. And I tell you what, is there anything else that you'd like to discuss this on this impromptu Tuesday night episode of Warwick Radio, sir?
No, there's no other fights this week, Joe. I don't know.
No. Well, there is just nothing on that level, right? There's Tony Oka versus Carlos Takam, right? There's Diego Pacheco versus Jack Cullen.
Interesting. Pacheco, a young prospect. He ready. He wants to go into. He's going in the Wolves' Den, his opponent's backyard.
That's happening during the day on March 11th, Saturday.
He must feel confident he could beat this guy. I don't know anything about that Cullen guy, and I don't know too much about Pacheco, but I seen him fight a few times. He looked like he got something. We'll see.
Yeah, but also on that card is the Campbell Hatton versus the dreaded TBA.
Who?
Campbell Hatton.
Who? Oh, Ricky's son. Okay.
Ricky's son, yep. Campbell Hatton versus the dreaded TBA.
All right.
Here it is. Oh, I hope Devin gets the referee from Figueroa versus Magsayo. No more coddling Devin. Oh, geez. The cuddle bear. Boy, a guy who likes to hold you like an octopus. Boy, I tell you what, he looked like a complete fighter putting it to Kambosos the last fight. But once again, Tszyu's a completely different animal. We should see a very, very interesting, intriguing fight this weekend. Now, also, Carl actually stated this, right? He stated this also. He said on the undercard, it's going to be starting off the pay-per-view. You've got the youngest of the Tszyu sons, right? Little Nikita Tszyu. And he seems to have a sledgehammer in his glove just like his dad. He got more of his dad's power. He's only 4-0. Going to be fighting Bo Belbin. Well, I tell you what, that's
Tszyu.
Nikita Tszyu. Yep. Nikita Tszyu. That's it.
Yeah, but what weight?
Let me look, sir. Hold on.
And another thing, Joe,
it's going to be at 154, same as Tim.
They still ain't got his dad's amateur pedigree, though, man. That makes a difference, man.
Sure does.
Yeah.
Sure does, brother.
That was a bad dude, man. Tszyu.
And he says, no, Belbin is 7-0 with 7 knockouts. Holy shnikes.
Who's he, Belbin?
Yeah, he says that's who he's going to be fighting, Nikita Tszyu. Yep.
Yeah. That's 7-0 paper tiger. Yeah. Okay.
That's right. I'm sorry. Nikita Tszyu's 4-0. Belbin is 7-0 with 7 knockouts. You're right. That's absolutely right. That's going to be your showdown starting out the pay-per-view at 154 pounds. Wow. So we'll see. We'll see. I'll tell you what, very intriguing weekend of boxing. Yeah. I'll tell you what, it should be really interesting. And once again, Tszyu says, boy, Diego Pacheco is a bad man.
Okay.
Diego Pacheco has improved, seemed to be a real prospect. Well, we'll find out.
I haven't followed the kid, so I'm just going by what you guys. I'm just going by what you guys are telling me. Okay, I don't know.
Well, we'll see it. We'll see it this weekend. Obviously, I'm going to be at a weigh-in, emceeing a weigh-in for Hector Tanajara, prospects Javi Fernandez, also Daniel Cortez at 115 pounds. I'm going to be conducting that weigh-in at Dave & Buster's in San Antonio, guys. If you're interested, it starts at noon.
Tanajara's fighting?
Hector Tanajara, yes, sir. He's going to be fighting on Sunday. I'm going to be commentating on pay-per-view.
Who's going to be the promoter?
Oh, that's South Park Boxing and the Gomez Law Firm. They're actually trying to cultivate prospects and talent in South Texas. Yep.
Tanajara, it's good for Tanajara. He's from San Antonio. And it's good, to keep him active over there. Yeah, good for Hector.
In fact, tomorrow we're going to be featuring Hector as well as Javi Fernandez on the show tomorrow night, guys. I'm going to be interviewing both of them to promote this event and to get everyone prepared for this weekend. So, guys, join me tomorrow night as I do that. But, guys, I'll tell you what. Coach, do you have any parting shots for our listening audience? It's going to be a great fight weekend. And congratulations once again for Tszyu. Just taking on this assignment when he really didn't have to.
Well, don't congratulate him yet until he gets his hand raised.
No, I'm just win or lose. He's got some brass taking on this assignment. This is something he didn't have to take. And this is what boxing's all about. We're the better beneficiaries of it. The fans are the beneficiaries.
Look, Harrison will give him problems in the early rounds, but as the fight goes on, he'll fade. He hasn't fought, Joe. He's 2 fights in 4 years.
You think there's a reason? It's strategic. There's a reason why they took this assignment. That's it.
You're damn right.
And there it is. Coach Gogue, your parting shots for this awesome Tuesday night show. Thank you for doing this, sir.
No, just thank you for everybody that tuned in, even the fans in England or all over the world. And well, hopefully it's a good fight and we'll have something good to talk about it this Sunday.
We sure will. We sure will, guys. Once again, guys, if you missed any part of this, go ahead and rewind, or it's available on demand all week. But guys, on behalf of the 5-decade fight trainer, I'm Joseph Heron. You've been listening to WAWR Week Radio. Have a wonderful evening, everybody, and thanks for joining us.
Halftime Pizza and FightSaga.com proudly present WAWR Week Radio with 5-decade fight trainer James Gogue.